Hi everyone, welcome back to this week's Short Attention Span webinar. Hi Kelly.
Hey.
All right, so we're going to put a bow on this series of 4 review questions for 2015. This one is something that I think you really need to focus on an ongoing basis. You can do this daily if you want to, but certainly weekly. There's 4 keys to sales success: call quality, target market, having a process, and diligence. Call quality, target market, having a process, and diligence. On a regular basis, you need to ask yourself, how am I doing? Simple.
Agreed.
All right, so Kelly, number 1, call quality.
Yeah.
Am I doing the kind of research necessary to make a decent call?
Right.
Do I have that skill? Tell me more about that, Kelly. What more?
Well, again, what we really are talking about here is the evolution of the call going from I sell printing, do you buy printing? This is the kind of printing that I sell. Can I quote on something? To changing your mindset to being a problem solver, to looking at a situation and saying, how can I help them solve their goal, reach their goals? What is my role in that? What ideas do I have? And how can I be the kind of person that they look to for ideas and as somebody that they want on their team early in the process with requisitioners instead of purchasers? So that just being in that mindset and understanding that that's the kind of dialogue that you want to have, so that when you pick up the phone, you have something of value to say that isn't, can I quote on something?
Right, so you're getting into the design stage of the job, not the quote stage of the job.
Ideally.
If you've got clients that are, this is a good measuring stick. If you've got clients that are calling you saying, hey, can you give me a price on this? You're being invited in at the quote stage, and you're subjected to price. If you've got clients that are calling you and saying, you've got good ideas, Kelly, we've got a project coming up, I'd love to pick your brain and have you sit in on this meeting. Can you come? Your brand is right where it should be. Mm-hmm. So that means that you are doing the right kind of work, you are doing the research probably, and it's paying off for you. The second thing is target market. Okay, the second way, am I calling on the right kind of companies? What kind of companies do I want to call on, Kelly?
It entirely depends on your offering and where you're the strongest. And again, I go back to this notion of anecdotal selling. If you have a situation where you've got a current customer that you landed because of some great idea that you had and they were thrilled, I would want to replicate that kind of a situation. So if you can target by vertical market. You can say, I'm really, really good in real estate companies, or I'm really, really good in the financial markets. That's one way of targeting. I also advocate that you operate from a place of personal experience.
Yes.
So if there's something in your own life that you have a lot of expertise in, then it makes sense to kind of branch out into that kind of a realm, and not just that specific one. Let's say you're a runner. That could mean anything to do with athleticism anywhere. Manufacturers, venues, there's publications. I mean, it's really about really brainstorming and broadening the way you think into a lot of different areas. So that's one way of targeting. Is just to be smart and strategic about it instead of just scattershot and anybody's my customer.
The next one is prospecting process. Do I have a process? Now, let me explain. 90% of you don't. Now, you might think you do, saying, yeah, well, I make some calls and then I send out, then I stop by. No, a process is something that is a step-by-step, week-by-week template that you feed on a regular basis. You keep adding on the beginning of the week. So you're doing different activities. Maybe it's an email. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe you're going to go stop by and see them. Maybe you're sending something in the mail. Maybe it's a testimonial. Maybe it's a YouTube video that you sent them or whatever. But an ongoing step-by-step plan. Now, the good news is, and we'll just roll into number 4 here, Kelly, is that the steps in the plan are not the secret sauce.
Right.
The secret sauce is the 4th item, which is diligence.
Diligence.
Simple question. Am I working hard enough? That's it.
Right.
So there's your 4th question. Am I putting in the time? Am I puting in the effort? It's a question I ask my clients. Are you doing the work that's going to result in the kind of volume that you want? And the answer I get is, oh, yeah. Okay, stop. Be honest. Are you being as diligent as you should be? And then the answer comes back, well, not so much.
Right.
So, and that's our trump card, right, Kelly? That diligence is our trump card.
And that's, that well, is really, to me, it's just a different way of thinking. You're changing your thinking a little bit to say, I can make one more call a day.
Yeah.
I can decide that today is the day I'm actually gonna create the LinkedIn profile because Bill and Kelly have been telling me to do this for 10 years. That this is the day that I'm gonna branch out and try something different that might be a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to tweet somebody. I'm going to text someone because I have their cell phone number just to see.
Sure.
It's really about getting out of your comfort level a little bit. But diligence, there is nothing that will supplant that. There is nothing that will replace it, for sure.
Absolutely. So. All right, well, that's our next series of 4. Next week, we're going to do something special. We're going to do kind of a backup and a review of 2015. We'll talk a little bit about 2016 coming up, which is knocking on the door here. Yeah, I know, right? Dong, dong. But we appreciate your time this week. Thank you, Ms. Malazzi.
Thank you, Bill.
And we'll talk to you all next week in another short attention span webinar.